these things are off.
And what does that need to be on?
Well, I think there's just there's only there. I think it's just this one place that it can be.
For the bottom one?
Oh, I guess there's two. It doesn't matter, as far as I know.
Okay.
Just as long as that's sort of up and locked into place.
Okay.
As far as I know. And then this just lifts straight up. Carefully. Try not to pull out too much film.
All right.
And then
It goes on whatever the uptake one is. Okay.
and then
On the end of it.
and it goes in between these two things. Over this one. And then around the angled one. Let it lift up.
Hold on just a second. Let me get a shot of where it's going. Okay.
I guess. Yeah. And then this one you set on payout so that it automatically goes when it goes on there.
There goes payout, and then it goes to the
I
next.
guess what happens is it goes over the first one and then under the second one so it can go up.
All right.
Here
It goes over 5.
with the soundtrack facing towards yourself.
Towards the outside. Okay.
And then you just pull on it. Make sure that's coming. That little ratchet continues moving.
Which it certainly seems to be.
And then you just pull it until you get this thing, which is where the film starts,
Okay,
to
so
the indicated point, more or less. And then
and it goes over the top one.
there. And then so that way the
Soundtrack still facing
soundtrack
out.
ends up on this side, since that's where the soundtrack reader is.
All right.
And then through there, this should all be open.
Oh, wait. What were you opening again?
All of these, just each of these was closed from last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see each one by one. The first thing you do is line the frame up in this frame window here.
Line the first frame up.
These frames. Although,
Like that one there?
yeah, I mean, I think it should be theoretically, but these are so dark you can't even tell, but theoretically you line it up here and then it's framed when it starts running, but if not, then you have to adjust it.
Ah, I
So, which is why you want this thing, which is controlled by this, to be like halfway, like right there, so that if you need to, you can move it all the way to there, or all the way to there. Either way, you have a little leeway to get it straight once it's...
All right.
Because the last film, I know, it wasn't lined up, so I had to frame it every time.
Gotcha.
And then, so ideally, you just want to get the frame lined up with that frame that's in there.
One of the white frames?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way the little square's right on. And then make sure that that's clamped properly, which actually it isn't. So at a weird angle.
And it goes on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically that's what you're trying to do. You gotta flip it in. You're holding it there with the finger just to make sure that the sprocket holes, the little sprockets are coming through the holes.
Okay.
And then you use your thumb to snap it into place and make sure that it's between these two things, which it seems to be, I hope.
On the sprockets up there?
Yeah, there are no sprockets here, it just has to be lined up. And then,
All right, and let's see here. So, okay. And isn't there something to do with the tension up here?
yeah, it's sort of, once you do this one, then you want to do this one. It should be open like that. And you just bring it under here.
Okay.
And then, story goes, it should be just a little bit higher than that.
Okay.
But, you know, these things are, basically it's just to give you enough leeway in case you need to frame it.
Gotcha.
So it can move up and down to fit the window.
Gotcha.
But you don't want to give it too much because it'll start bouncing against something up or down.
It'll get
which is
too
why-
loose. Correct.
Yeah.
so then it clicks up to stay on. So that one's clicked into place.
Clicked into place, and you just make sure that that's all smooth.
Okay, so there's this one to click, and then there's nothing to click on this one, right?
This whole thing clamped shut. That was the first thing, and that's with.
And that's with this.
Yeah, this opens it, and then you.
That closes it. Gotcha.
I can do that again if you want.
No, that's fine.
And then this is the one where, depending on the size of your finger, you want to have enough room to sort of hold the finger down there while you snap this one into place carefully,
so that you don't crush your finger. And that rotates on this thing.
It's like
up,
just bring
finger down,
and then
down. Okay.
put it on your finger.
Got.
And then make sure that that's everything's lined up.
Okay.
And then down to this one.
And that's through the audio reader.
Right. And then there's no teeth or anything here. It's just sort of in between these two pieces.
Okay.
And you wrap it around here, and that just snaps up to hold it against the thing.
And there's no real tension thing there?
Not yet.
Okay.
You wrap it around here.
Okay.
And then bring it to this one.
Okay.
And there's no teeth here, but this thing moves.
Okay.
And again, this is one of those things where they say to have it a particular place, and I'm not sure exactly if I do it right every time, but it's supposed to be sort of halfway in between this hole, or this little spike and this little spike. I'll be a little closer to this one for some reason.
And, okay.
And that's held into place by these teeth. So you just have to get that lined up.
Oh, so this pendulum here is held in place by the tension on those sprockets.
Which
gotcha.
then, holds everything in place.
Okay.
And then that
clamps
locks it
with
down there.
that guy. Okay.
And then you bring it around this one.
Okay.
And then this holds these two up. You gotta make sure
you've got to click both of those two up. Okay.
Just slide that in there, and that should hold them both up.
Okay.
And that's like an emergency release thing, and if they're not both done, then it won't work.
Okay.
And that comes around this one.
Oh, comes around that one.
And I guess that's the way I normally do it with the soundtrack going that way, but it's one of those things where I don't think it really matters because it's half a turn this way or it's half a turn that way, and as long as it ends up the right way.
And the soundtrack should now be facing which way?
Well, now it's going this way, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure if there is a really right way. I mean, it either turns halfway to face this way or halfway to face this way. At that point,
okay, at that point,
really
the soundtrack doesn't especially matter. Gotcha.
And then it goes into this one.
And it's always that one down there at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just that way, it's pretty much straight across and then under, and then to the outermost one, and then just weave it in between all of them. So
weaving it.
The closest one. So it's down and up and down and up.
Down and up, down and up. Okay. Oops. I think I'm the header, which is probably that.
Gotta go all the way up.
Because this is paying out to the top one up there.
It would always go all the way to this one.
Okay.
Because it always goes from there to there, and then it would go down either to this one, or this one, or this one. And when you use the top one, as this says, you use this one.
Okay.
Just to make sure it travels smoothly. So, and get it down through there.
And then, if you're not using the top one, where do you go from this?
To this one or this one.
Okay.
It would just go directly to each platter's.
Gotcha.
roll.
But you put it on to this so that it doesn't do this weird V across.
I guess.
For that. For the top. Okay.
According to what the.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's what I was saying about the soundtrack. Like, I don't think it really matters at that point, because basically it's just got to go through the reader right, and it's got to be on here right. Although even on here, I don't think it really matters which side's up.
Okay.
I think we normally make it so that
it pays out back up. Yeah.
Which, so I always come to this point, and that's where it happens. On this turn, I always want to go like this, and I'm like, oh, I can go like this.
Okay.
So that it comes through here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so then. Usually it's nice to have a little bit longer thing here.
Okay.
So that you can wrap it around more, but I guess this particular head or whatever this is called is not as long as it could be.
And then do you clamp it in somewhere?
Yeah, this thing.
You just tuck it in.
This is like a, but this basically just
okay.
like that. So you just, which is why you know, it's folded over a few times so that it'll have a little more to clamp on so it can
Solid.
stay in place.
Gotcha.
And then you just